Welcome you all. We're glad to welcoming you again to the YouTube channel of 60 Hour Shakespeare. Today we're very excited because we have here a very special guest that is Ellen Ludlow. Welcome, Ellen. Thank you
Hi,
for coming.
having me.
Ellen is a regional fundraiser for Daisy's Dream, and Daisy's Dream is the wonderful charity that we are supporting through our performance of Romeo and Juliet, which will air, as you all know, but I remind you, May 31st. So if you haven't already, go in the description box down below, register, have a ticket for the show, and most important, go to the donate page if you can and donate what you can to Daisy's Dream, because as Ellen will explain us, every little penny will count for such a great cause. So now, without further ado, I would like to pass the word on to Ellen that will explain us everything about Daisy's Dream, the wonderful projects they are all concerned with. So please, Ellen,
Thank
you have the
you.
floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you for asking me to come and be here and talk to you a little bit this evening. It's an absolute pleasure. It's really exciting to see what you guys are doing, and I can't wait for the 31st. So yeah, Daisy's Dream. We are a charity. We support children who have experienced a bereavement or have someone in the family who's been diagnosed with a life-limiting illness. So they're potentially facing a bereavement. So we work in a really flexible way. It's one of the huge benefits of being quite a small charity is we can really try and tailor our support service to each individual family's needs. So it's quite a challenge, as you can imagine. I mean, we support over 500 different families across the county of Berkshire on average every year. And that is also an average of about 700 children per year. So obviously, you know, some of those are siblings from within the same family. Often the person that the child has lost is a parent or a sibling. And for all of us, I think there are so many sort of huge, big emotions that come as part of grief. And for a child, especially, these are really big feelings to be dealing with at a time when everything in their life, you know, can have changed. So the way we work is through our therapeutic practitioners, who are a fantastic group of people. They're absolutely awesome. And they will get to know each child individually, and they will work with them in whatever way best supports that child and that family's needs. So sometimes that's about providing telephone support for the child's parents or teachers. We get a lot of referrals through schools. Sometimes that's about offering to go out and meet the child one-to-one and do some sessions, perhaps either at home or at school with the child. And there are lots and lots of different things that that they kind of work through and talk through with the child about their special person that they've lost, helping them be able to talk through memories, happy memories, talk through their feelings around what's going on in their life at the moment, and helping them perhaps gain some kind of understanding about the changes that are happening in their life and in their family dynamic.
Yeah, I think this is really great because, of course, what they experience when they are going through such a hard time will definitely affect their adolescence and their adulthood. So, if they are supported to cope with that in the best possible way, of course, also their growth and development is going to be smoother and easier because, of course, everyone is going through hard times in their lives. But I think that having the best possible support really makes things more sustainable on the long run, I think. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the fantastic things about Daisy's Dream is they don't sort of say, right, we'll work with you for X number of sessions and then that's it, goodbye. You know, they will at different times, as you say, in that child or young person's life, different times throughout adolescence, things that happen bring up those difficult feelings of grief and bereavement again. So quite often it might be that they've worked with a family for a certain period of time and then they haven't been needed for a while, but the family might get back in touch when the child, for example, transitions from primary to secondary school or starts GCSE exams. Something big is happening in the child's life that's bringing up these feelings again, and that they need a bit more help and support to cope with those situations. And Daisy's Dream is always there to step back in and give that support. And one of the things that I really love that happens quite often in the office is we'll get a letter or an email to one of the therapeutic practitioners from someone who's now out there in the world of work saying, you supported me 15, 16, 18 years ago when I was a child. Now I just wanted to let you know this is what I'm doing. You know, I've started that business I always wanted to start, or, you know, this is the job I'm in. How can I support you? Or we get kids, teenagers writing to their therapeutic practitioners saying, I really wanted to let you know I've passed my A levels, or, you know, I've passed my driving test, and they get back in touch. And it really means a lot to them to let their practitioner know how they're getting on, which is so exciting when we hear sort of, as you say, how people have grown, because we say, you know, you carry that grief and that loss of the person you've lost, but your world and your learning and your development sort of grows up and comes up around you, and it really gives you that sense that actually these children, these young adults, are moving forward in a positive way. You know, they're doing fantastic things with their life, and that's not to minimize the grief or bereavement or trauma. That's, as you say, helping them process it, perhaps think about it, understand a little bit more how to move forward with the new dynamics that they're finding in their family and in their life.
Exactly. Of course, there is no way to prevent some bad things from happening, of course, but we can definitely change the circumstances that come after the big loss or the big trauma. So I think this is great. So since you have mentioned people being now adults, so I kind of assume that Daisy's Dream has been around for a while, and I know you are celebrating something special this year. So can you tell us
We
something
are,
about that?
yes. So we're celebrating, it's our 25th birthday this year. We've been around 25 years supporting children and young people who have experienced bereavement. So yes, we're hoping to have sort of
Happy
Daisy.
birthday.
Thank you. Yes, we're hoping to celebrate with Daisy Fest tea parties. Anybody that wants to kind of join in on that and have their own little celebration at home, at school, at uni, anywhere, go on our website and have a little look. You can order a sort of party pack and host your own Daisy Fest if you want to do a bit of extra fundraising and celebrating. So it was actually set up by a mum who, she lost her husband. She had two young girls, and she was looking around for some support for her own daughters, and finding that really there was very little support out there to help children deal with grief and bereavement. And that's how Daisy's Dream came about. It started around her kitchen table, and actually Daisy was her Labrador, who was always under the table asleep and dreaming during these Daisy's Dream meetings initially, you know, around the kitchen table. So hence the name Daisy's Dream. And our mascot today is still, we've got a big 6-foot Labrador called Daisy, who comes out on our community events with us.
This is so sweet. I love that. I was about to ask you about the birth of Daisy's Dream, but you prevented me. So this is such a cool story. It's so lovely. And also we know that, I mean, it's not strictly related, but I like that it's named after a dog, because I think that animals can be a great support in some phases of people's lives, especially children. So it's great that your mascot is actually a Labrador. I really love this concept. It's
Absolutely.
great.
And the kids love it when she comes out to our community events. Yeah, she's a very big draw.
Great. So we will put the link in the description box to your website, so people can go and check out all the initiatives around the anniversary, which is great. So since you are a fundraiser, and what we are doing, of course, is a fundraising activity, I would like to ask you, which are usually the projects that you put in place to support Days in Dreams, to raise funds and everything? How do you usually manage that?
So, I mean, sorry, this year, as with absolutely everybody, has been very different to a normal year, as you can imagine. So normally, I guess there are three main strands to our sort of community fundraising, which is the corporates or the businesses who want to support us as a business, as a workplace, and sort of do projects or fundraising initiatives that way. There's the events that Daisy's Dream organises. So we have some sort of in-house events. So we, for example, organise a skydive. So if you fancy jumping out of a plane at 10,000 feet and getting sponsored to do it, we organise a Daisy's Dream skydive. Or if you fancy sponsoring someone else to do it so you don't have to do it. um, We organised that through Go Skydive, which is fantastic. We have places for the London Marathon at the moment, so we've still got some places for the virtual marathon and for the actual physical London Marathon next year.
So
So again,
runners out there,
all the runners,
warned.
try and have something for everyone, if you know what I mean. So again, there's lots of links on the website to different challenges. So there's kind of fun family challenges like the Colour Rush, there's half marathons, anything you want to do to be sponsored. And then the third sort of way, the strand in which we fundraise, is out in the community with guys like you doing kind of things you're doing. So you're doing a project that, you know, you're doing for Daisy's Dream, but you're putting it all on in the community for the community. And that's really where a lot of our fundraising comes from. We get very little in, we get no government grants, and we get very little in other sort of community or private grants, but by far the majority comes from you guys out in the community, in businesses, in schools, private families, just saying, yeah, I want to do something for Daisy's Dream, what can we do to raise funds? So we're here really to come and support you guys in that, to say, right, yes, we want you to do that, what do you need from us, how can we help?
That's so great. Yeah, I think it's a big part of the mission of 60 Hour Shakespeare, apart from, of course, sharing the word of the bard to the whole world. But one big part of its mission, which is the reason why I actually fell in love with Gavin Lee and Charlotte Klein, who are artistic director and producer of the company, is because they really put together arts, performing arts, and the excitement of beautiful Shakespeare plays with very noble causes. And I think it's great when people can work together to do amazing things together. So we are more than glad and honored to be here supporting Daisy's Dream.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank you, Ellen, for coming, for being with us, for explaining us something about Daisy's Dream, and generally for working with us. We really hope that we will raise as much as we can. So again, you all people watching, go down in the description box, donate, support, share, because of course, if you are unable to donate for any specific reason, also the word of mouth is very important to let majority of people know about Daisy's Dream and about our fundraising. So also just posting a link, sharing a photo can be a great help. I think that every little drop counts when it comes to making something good.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely it does. Yeah, please help us spread the word.
exactly, yes. So Ellen, thank you very much. I really hope you will be there in person or online on May 31st to watch our wonderful actors play Romeo and Juliet. So thank you very much. If you want to say one last word to say goodbye to our audience.
Yes, just thank you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the performance and please go donate. The link's in the description.
Yay! Bye bye, everybody,
Bye.
and see you next time on 60 Hours Shakespeare YouTube channel.